we're here talking about Avengers and all the trolling that we can do together.
Yeah, that Infinity War is right around the corner. I've got 10 seats at the Alamo ready for us. It's going to be great.
It will be great, even if it's bad.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see, I hope.
Yep. I could go to Avengers on the same basis I go to Star Wars movies now. Just like, yep, just drip feed me that nostalgia. It's nostalgia for like, last year at this point, but it's you figured out the formula. Just give me that formula. That's all I want. Give baby his formula.
I like that they put a little bit of Tabasco in the last one.
Yeah.
So hey, welcome to Anime FMK.
Hi.
Oh shit, that is still what this show is.
Yeah.
Hi, welcome to Anime FMK. Here's our show. We watch 10 anime, except now we're down to 3, because when we don't like an anime, we kill it. I'm your host, I'm Ben.
I'm Scott.
I'm Kieran.
It's Monday, that's when we record these. If you're on YouTube, it's Wednesday, or maybe Thursday. We don't know. We don't plan things.
We tried.
Although hope to God it's Wednesday.
Yeah, that's not true. We plan all kinds of things. We make plans. We've got so many plans.
We got plans about plans.
Quite a few.
When's our appointment to make plans?
I'll have to plan that.
Yeah, gonna have to put it on the calendar.
Yeah.
I watched anime this week. I watched more After the Rain this week.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It continues to ride that knife's edge of am I liking this on the level that they want me to like it? It had a very good episode about friendship, not about the older male love interest guy at all. Just about, because, the girl, she used to run track, and then she hurt her ankle, and now she's all depressed because she can't run track anymore. And, I like that they make her friends, her friends are real nice. Her track friends, try to keep her included. It would have been totally easy to make them just assholes, oh, you can't run the track, fuck you, get out of here. They, try to keep her included, but that just makes it more awkward.
Yeah.
It's I'm not actually a part of this anymore.
Oh.
And then her friend who was, not just being polite, but is actually no, you're my friend, though. I don't want to lose you as a friend. It's real heartwarming and good.
It's good when anime is good.
Yeah. And then sometimes it's a 40-year-old man trying to fuck a 17-year-old, and it gets weird.
Is he actively trying?
See, that's why I like it, because he's...
Because he is.
I don't know. That's how I feel. That's why I feel two ways about it. Because at the end of the 3rd episode, which is where I left off last week, the big cliffhanger is they finally acknowledged hey, we've got this tension. Let's address this. And he's trying to play it off no, I'm an old man. You don't want me. Just try going on a date with me. You'd be bored to tears. And she, of course, you'll go on a date with me? Let's go on a date. Mm-hmm. And then they actually go on the date. And that's so, on the top half of his mind, he's yeah, okay, this'll convince her. And it's no, that's not okay. But they do go on this date, and it's kind of it's nice and cute and very chaste. But
surprising.
Yeah. But it also is very clearly a physical attraction on both ends. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to watch it probably. That's a show that was very... Here's the thing. When I heard about the premise, obviously, if anybody saw the video that we made talking about our rundown, when I heard about that, I was very much in the same mindset as you were before you actually saw it, which was, this could go terribly.
Yeah, this looks real creepy.
Yeah, as it turns out, it was actually what I was hoping it would be, and didn't give it the chance to be, so I'll have to watch it now.
Yeah, I mean, I would, at least 6 episode in, I'd recommend it, but I'm sticking with my 3 episodes a week. That seems to be about. But it is the kind of show that it is compelling. One could marathon it and not feel bad about it, I think.
Okay.
Speaking of shows that we're not watching for the show, but I am, check out Working Buddies. It's they're about 4 minutes each. It's only about 10 episodes in. Super easy to watch. I cleared them all out in a day. It's adorable. It's super duper cute. It's about these 2 guys who work part-time jobs every episode. They're little comedy skits. They're also talking animals, which, okay, yeah, I'm also totally a fan of. But it's...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's really funny, really cute, and I don't know. I'm glad that I ended up watching it. My friend Gavin was like, "Dude, are you watching Working Buddies?" And I'm like, "The fuck's that?" The best part about it is that it's got this little puppet opening and a stop motion ending. Yeah, they're very
Ooh,
cute.
okay.
Did you watch anything non-contractually obligated?
I'm still watching Pop Team Epic.
Yeah,
don't
is
know
it?
if that's still-
Shit, I didn't watch this week's episode.
It was really fun.
Yeah.
Had a bunch of very artistic bits that I appreciated.
Damn it.
This whole thing done in like crayon and sketchbook. It was really cool.
Ooh, I'll have to look up that bit.
Yeah, they've had a few fun ones. That's about it though. Aside from Made in Abyss that I watched a bit ago, but
Which apparently is getting the movie treatment.
I know that's awesome.
Yeah, and like animated movie, they're apparently gonna just redo the whole thing like they did with Attack on Titan and Madoka, which I'm all about.
Yeah.
Made in Abyss could make a fantastic film. So,
Totally.
Yeah, I will have to watch that at some point.
Yeah.
But not today. Today we watched, or for today rather, we watched Ancient Magus Bride, episode 23, second to last episode, penultimate. In this, and this is going to get a little lengthy, Titania offers to help Elias find Chisei and tells him that he should keep her with them in Elfland, where she'll never escape again. Elias refuses, saying that he has to change his ways and learn to love like humans do. Titania helps him anyway. Also, she's wearing her staying in tits this week. Nice normal size. Phyllis tells Marielle to help Chisei to make up for hinting to Elias about how to transfer Chisei's curse to Stella. Chisei, still in crazy Vision Quest mode, flashes back apparently hundreds of years ago to when Joseph, a gravedigger and an outcast, meets Cartophilus, the wandering Jew of legend, and tries to heal him of his curse. It doesn't work, so they do the fusion dance and go around stealing body parts and getting amnesia instead. Chisei wakes up and she and Cartophilus fight a little, both with freaky-deaky cursey arms. Elias and Titania and Renfred and Alice show up and fight some chimerae. And Chisei and Elias and Ruth and Marielle, who's suddenly there for some reason, chase Cartophilus through the streets of London. This, past a certain point, like third act, this is just like breakneck pace. Shit's happening! Ah!
So I want to state before we go into this is manga material. Amazingly, the
Oh,
mangaka is working with the anime studio because the chapter just came out.
Oh,
which
wow.
Yeah, which means the mangaka has been working with the studio to make sure that we don't get a filler ending. That's awesome.
Wow,
Because,
okay.
yeah, I was watching this stuff going like, this is really compelling. It's in line with the show. Please don't let this be a show original. And it's not. Like, that's what I was told by one of our watchers, I'd like to point out. So I did not check the manga myself. I don't know where to read it legally. So this was told to me by one of our fans.
I don't know if it's available electronically. I know you can just, buy the Dead Tree version.
Yeah. So
Yeah, the whole thing I was thinking was even as I was watching this, like, yeah, so I think like we're at the anime only parts. If that is what this is, they know what they're doing. This was a kind of a bit of a faith restored. I know last week we were feeling like trepidatious about what they're gonna do, but this seems to be pretty interesting, and it they know to do that thing that I love in anime and every other fucking story that I ever experienced where, oh, there's this person that we saw and that person that we saw and we're all coming together and like, yeah, you remember everything. Just the little like energy going past everybody when Elias does that expel. I love it.
if I can say anything about that part, and it's really the only part of the episode, one of the only parts of the show that I've had to say this about, kind of looked a little butt.
A
Like
tiny bit, yeah.
Yeah, the effect, I was like, ooh, you've done that before and better. But that being said, it was nice. I like when shows call back to a bunch of other characters through magical means like that. I'm a sucker for it. So yeah, I dug on that. Just looked a little, But yeah, no, it's good. So first of all, let's talk about maybe one of the more interesting parts of this episode to me, which was Titania and Oberon basically being like, yeah, we'll help you get her back and keep her forever. And I'm like, oh yeah, you guys are still kind of like gods, and you don't treat mortals like normal, or like they're autonomous beings.
Yeah, they've been friendly enough in their last couple of appearances that it's easy to forget these are fey creatures.
Yeah.
These are what what our ancestors called the fair folk, because calling them what they actually were would make them angry.
Yeah.
We wouldn't want that.
Yeah, it kind of gave a bit more light to. Oh yeah, Elias like is still this weird chimera thing, kind of, and doesn't process things like a human, and has his desire of affection is this really possessive, like all the Fae are like, no, we're gonna lure you in, and you're going to like it.
And Elias himself says, like, they're like, you shouldn't have to change yourself for it, but he's like, no, but you don't understand. I want to change myself for her because I want to be better for her. And it's like, yes, sometimes, never change your likes, your dislikes, never try to be into something you're not into for another person. But if you do shitty things, yeah, sometimes you stop doing shitty things for the people you love, like stealing little girls and trying to kill them to save. Okay, going a little off the rails, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I gotta say, this was an effective scene. The animation, the music, all that stuff was very well crafted. I was still kind of sitting there with my arms folded, like, you tried to murder a child, dude. This isn't like learning not to raise your voice when you're angry. You tried to murder a child, dude. So yeah, and the fact that later in the episode Shisei is like, yeah, I'm still mad at you. You got to do something for me to no, you got to do nothing. You tried to murder a child, dude. Yeah, I'm having a hard time taking the journey this show wants me to take with it.
The reason that it's easy for me to take the journey is that if this were a normal set of circumstances, if say this were Renfred, if this were Renfred who tried to do something like that, I would be like, yeah, no, Ren, you went over the line, like way over the line, because his scope of reality has always been from the ground up human. He's human. His perspective on society, on people, on love, are all based in a very humanistic environment. Meanwhile, everything in Chisei's life post the loss of her mother has just gone into this dark, far-off place surrounded by horrors and magic. The moment that she's introduced to Elias, it's in possibly one of the darkest ways you can do it. She's bought by him. Mm-hmm. He buys her, and specifically he buys her to help him. And, vicariously by helping her, but the entire point of him buying her in the first place was to make him a better person, to make him more human, to help him fit in and understand the world. This action that he took is not that far off from something. It did not surprise me. When it happened, I understood it, and it was dark, and it was sad, and it's terrible. But and the thing that we have to remember is that's something that we signed on for, or Chisei technically didn't sign on for, but she already accepted as this was always a possibility. Mm-hmm. He's not human. He does not understand this, and this was the furthest extent we've seen that. Whether or not he can come back from that is all going to come down to whether or not he decides he wants to come back from that, whether or not he wants to make the effort. But for a creature like that, something so outside of the normal concept of human morality and understanding, you have to at least say, if you can't overcome that, then yeah, I can't stay. But if he can, I mean, we don't know. That's the big thing. Can he actually grow from that?
I'm a big believer that everybody deserves a second chance. I'm equally a big believer that it's not your job to give a given person a second chance.
Well, it wasn't also Elias's job to buy her and save her life. I'm not saying she's indebted to him, but
what's he done to save her life? What has he done to actually extend her lifespan?
She could have been bought by any other person. And not to mention, he has improved her life. She could have been bought by anybody, and they all could have been far worse than he was. She could have been bought by Joseph or someone like him. And I'm not saying that what he did is acceptable. Like, that's the whole thing. What Elias did is not acceptable. It is not okay. It is damn near unforgivable for any normal person. But Elias is also not a normal person. He's not a human being. And the actions that he took are not outside the realm of what we knew he was totally capable of doing.
Oh, I knew he was, like I said, it's not that I thought it was out of character for him to do. I thought it was entirely in character. And I would love it if the show would stick by the strength of its convictions and run with that to its natural conclusion. Because sometimes you do put that much love and time and energy into somebody, and then they cross a fucking line, and you know what they say about the sunk cost fallacy.
Yeah, but...
Like, I think the healthiest thing for Chisei to do would be to spend that time and love and energy on any of the many other positive relationships she has made over the course of these 23 now episodes.
I mean, yeah, she could live with Renfred. She could go to the college. Maybe that's how it ends.
I would love that. I don't see it happening.
If this ends with him sending her off to the college, how would you feel about that? About him saying, like, I need you to go be yourself, and when you come back, if you come back, we can try to make things work.
That might be as satisfactory an ending as I can imagine us getting.
Yeah, I think actually now I'm kind of hoping for that. I'm kind of hoping it's him acknowledging that he screwed up so badly that he's like, you need to go, and I'll still be here when and if you need me, but you should go off to the college and they can teach you and they can help you. If that's the way they go, I think that's the first step in the redemption of his character. Because if they try and redeem it all by the end of this, that is a problem. Like, that would be a terrible solution to all of this. But if he makes a concerted effort, if he goes against all of his basic instincts and decides to do something more selfless for her, I think that is the first step in redeeming that character for something that, is terrible. Like, he tried to kill a little girl. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I think when you talk about, you shouldn't change yourself for somebody, but sometimes you kind of should. Like, I think it is important to remember, too, that he bought Chisei because he already had this impulse to try to change. Mm-hmm. So that doesn't actually all center around Chisei. I think, him actually, that is actually why you change yourself. You try to better yourself either for the person you're with, or if that doesn't work out, for the person after them.
And no matter what, changing yourself to better yourself should be an internal. That should come internally. That shouldn't be an external force. Mm-hmm. But to be quite honest with you, we all make our internal decisions based around the society around us. It's getting better understanding of other people. We learn from each other, which is why antisocial people often have really weird affectations or do not understand normal behavior. They have problems socializing. Like, part of self-improvement is learning through other people. So, I don't know. It's a lot of philosophical and psychological stuff brought up by my ancient Magus bride that we haven't talked about in a while. I feel like we haven't had this sort of kind of conversation in so many episodes. I'm glad this can still inspire stuff like this.
You're looking at me like I should say something.
Sorry.
I don't. Here's where I kind of stand about it. I feel like it's pointless to discuss that when the show is ending in one episode. I want to wait until it's actually done. Then we can talk about it, because who knows what's going to happen.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, but speaking of what actually happened in this episode, and I hate to be the party pooper. I kind of feel like I'm destined to be. Like, everything, the flashback was good as far as it was. Everything after that felt super rushed.
Oh, you mean when everybody stormed the place.
Yeah.
And just everybody happened to be around the corner, like
Yeah.
wherever his hideout is.
Also, I don't know what the point of these witches are. It feels like they are taking screen time away from characters that I actually care about and would like to see explored in the scant time we have left with them.
Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure the mangaka has plans for them,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
their involvement, like the anime is ending before the manga is, unless the manga's ending here, which like, that'd be weird.
No, I don't see that happening. But I think I'm trying not to let knowing that the next episode's coming up, being the last one, affect me with this. I'm just like, okay, here this happens. We'll see, because I have no idea. They all die. Like, who knows?
That would be the worst ending if Elias has like a last minute heroic sacrifice.
Oh, right,
I
yeah.
hate that, like Darth Vader style. Like, I'm totally good now, but we don't have to deal with what that means because I'm dead.
No, the mangaka's not. Well, the mangaka probably wouldn't allow it if the anime wanted to try some bullshit like that. That would be, that would be the worst ending. That would be like just bad writing.
Yeah, I don't actually see that happening. I have more faith in this show
Yeah,
than
I don't think that would happen either. But this episode, I like the flashback. I thought that was really cool. I don't know. I think seeing stuff from his point of view and like with the imagery of like the not actually like bloody eyes and shit. That was cool.
Oh yeah, that was good shit.
Yeah.
I liked that.
Yeah.
I also, man, whoever plays Joseph is just so fucking good. Like
he knows how to sell it.
Yeah, the feeling of despair and the loss of sanity over the many years is so well done. Like, and I like the fact that they only allude to what happened. They never flat out tell you who gave him the curse, why. It's actually kind of great.
Yeah, I mean, they sort of do. He overhears the dudes in the tavern like, hey, did you hear about that wandering Jew? Yeah, he threw a rock at Jesus.
Oh yeah, I guess they do
Yeah.
actually blatantly say it.
Yeah. But I don't know. I liked the stuff later after they merged and he's just like flipping out. Like, how long do I have to suffer for something I don't even remember doing? What could I have done that's worth this?
Yeah.
The stuff before, like it felt like Joseph, before he and Kartophilus did whatever they did to become one creature, he seemed to just kind of turn crazy on a dime. And maybe that was just a function of the fact that it's basically showing you in montage, like, I guess he's been hanging with Kartophilus for a while now before he snapped. But
Yeah, they seem to just cut straight to it, and so Joseph's character seems to color a bit more of his personality than I thought he would. And I was like, oh, okay, I thought he'd like progressively get more nuts, but yeah, he seems a bit nuts at the start.
Yeah, just like one scene, he's like, hey, I'm the kindly, people don't like me because I'm a gravedigger, but I'm going to help you out and we're going to be friends and I have the patience of a saint and I'm nice. And then straight from that to, well, I'm fucking insane now. Let's become one.
Well, it was not a surprise to me at all. And it didn't feel like a turn of a dime because we see that he's constantly suffering and he's terribly alone.
Yeah.
What did he do to get Kartophilus? He dug him up out of the ground and then started tending to his wounds because he was desperate to be loved.
Yeah.
And then when he started getting beaten by the townsfolk and things started getting worse, his only hope was, okay, you're going to get better and we're going to get out of here and it's going to be okay. And then it didn't happen. So as much as I would have liked a little bit more, maybe one more scene, I feel like we didn't need that because it's heavily implied that at some point he just breaks. And I get that. I think that's good. I think it like languishing on it anymore would have just been beating a nail that we already know is in the wood. So I like for me, again, maybe it's just the actor. Maybe it's just I am way into this guy's performance as Joseph, which it's amazing that's a guy. He's got the softest voice, but man, just it's brutal, it's dark, and but also oddly, and this kind of might, I don't know, maybe it takes away from what I said. It's weird for me that that Kartophilus / Joseph became such a big character in the story near the end.
Yeah, a little bit.
because the story was so based on Elias and Chisei, and now it's kind of like the Kartopolis show, and it's like, oh, hey.
Yeah, but I don't know. We've also gotten a lot of really good episodes exploring the Elias Chisei relationship, and maybe just because it has taken such a sour turn in these last couple, like I'm kind of fine exploring this new guy. I mean, I say new. He's been a constant presence since the City of Cats arc.
Yeah.
But now he feels like an actual character more than just
Yeah.
the villain. And we did get that fantastic flashback about Chisei and her past. And by the way, does anybody kind of feel like when Chisei's mom tells her you should never have been born? Do you did anybody else kind of feel like that was her saying you should never have been brought into all this? Because there was a part of me that kind of feels like she's trying to tell her, like, you shouldn't have been forced into this situation.
I don't know. I can't tell if she was saying that you are the additional, like, you were some problem. Like, if I was by myself, I could handle this more. Like, I have to worry about fixing my own emotional damage and raising you. That's how I saw it coming from that. But I could also see that too, because she knows that she can see all the crazy shit.
I think it's not. I think it's both. This is
Yeah.
what I'm saying. I feel like in that one moment, it's her saying you really shouldn't be here because not only are you a hindrance to me, but my genetics made you fragile and hard to take care of.
I don't know. As I recall, like just before that, you saw like the little like devil on
Yeah.
her shoulder voice saying, "It'd be so much easier if you were by yourself." So it sort of seems like that reading is what they were
Yeah,
pushing you towards.
That's obviously what the what do you call it? The context of that was supposed to be like in terms of how it was being presented. I don't know. There was just a part. There was a part of me that you take different things away from it. Like that's reading in further than what's on the surface, and after that, it's definitely the author.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I think that is an interesting reading. I don't think it's like super well supported by the text.
Yeah.
But
I just wanted to bring that up because that was something that resonated really hard with me when I watched that scene. But yeah, anyway, so Joseph Kartopoulos.
yep, Mariel's a bull.
Mariel
Oh,
is a
yeah.
bull.
Yeah, that's right.
I was not expecting bull.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that there's much more left to say. Like, yeah, we can continue to speculate, but you're right. There's 22 more minutes left in this story.
Right, it's going to be over in a sec. Then I feel like that's when we go nuts.
Yeah.
By the way, one thing that I really did like, I liked the ending song for this arc more than I liked the last one. And I also noticed that we're there.
I know. They
Yeah.
kept showing that, and I was like, oh, there's that thing. And then it cuts off.
Yep.
Yeah, the worst part was I was like, oh, is it the ending? Oh, no, there's still a scene left. Oh, no, now it's the ending.
But for the record, no, I'm not going to say, no, let's not watch the last episode. I'm, if anything, more trepidatious than ever, but still determined to see this through to the end.
I love this episode, and I'm very curious to see what the next episode's going to be like. As much as it's, very trepidatious, but at the same time, I had a lot to talk about it philosophically, and it raises so many questions, and it's so artistic, and God, how's this going to end? I'm so scared.
I think this show's biggest blunder is it tries to pull way too many threads because it's adapting from a manga that I'm assuming is going to keep making all these come in later. But this episode highlighted what I think the show does so well is when it makes all of them come together. And I think this did it in a pretty satisfying way for me. It was a little rushed, but even if this was anime only, I still really enjoyed it.
So here's my crackpot theory. Elias is not the ancient Magus of the title. Chisei's going to extract Joseph,
Yeah.
the Joseph side from Kartopolis,
Yeah.
and marry him.
Oh, God.
He is the ancient Magus.
I like it.
Yep.
I like it.
You know they be people out there shipping Joseph and Chisei. You know they be people out there.
Speaking of shipping, There's none in a place further than the universe, but I gotta transition this shit
Excuse
somehow.
you, there's none?
Nope, there's none whatsoever. Nobody's shipped anybody ever. They're not legal. They're not legal.
First of all,
episode 11, 11th of all, Genki-chan's old track club shows up on FaceTime, but she doesn't want to talk to them. Well, she pretends everything's fine with the other girls. Shirase sees her freaking out in private and can tell something's bothering her. She eventually gets the story out of Genki-chan. Short version, it's petty high school drama, but basically all her old friends were jerks, and that's why she dropped out of school. Genki-chan asks Shirase if she thinks she'd feel better if she forgave them. Shirase doesn't answer, but she gets on camera and gives the track club a savage tongue lashing. You want to start us off, Scott? I know you had some feelings about this one.
can we just talk about how Shirase is one of the best fucking characters in this whole goddamn show?
Yeah.
Like, I love Mad Shirase. It's so good. Whoever's playing her has set up the English voice actress, like,
Tough road to hoe.
tough
Tough act to
fucking-
follow.
Yeah, goddamn, because she just comes in there with this ferocity and this genuine tone that, like, because her entire character is, she's kind of bumbling, kind of thick. But if you challenge her, she will fucking destroy you if it means like she can come out on top. And to watch her stand up for her friend at the end there was so good. So good.
This show continues to prove that these writers are the best of the season, in my opinion. Every person feels real. Every conflict resolves in a way that is real and really, really satisfying to see unfold.
I was super happy to see more of Genki-chan's backstory. 'Cause
Yes.
Yeah, same.
there's always been that, people don't drop out of school just because.
Exactly, yeah.
Like, something happened there, and I'm glad we got the full story. I wrote it off in the summary as it's petty high school bullshit, and it is, but it's also totally understandable why it matters so much to her, why it affected her as much as it did.
Yeah, it's sort of interesting because in the United States, we kind of it's sort of weird in the United States. Once you're out of high school, you look back and think, well, that was a bunch of dumb bullshit. Why did I care? In Japan, it's a little bit different because a lot of your social life is very dependent on your friends and the clubs that you join. And if you do poorly in high school in Japan, you might actually do poorly in life if you're not careful. And so for her, she's got these friends, this track team. She's so focused on, on living that good high school life, and then it gets flipped on her. And considering her personality of, I don't like to cause trouble, I don't want to make an issue out of it, instead of standing up for herself, she just takes it and leaves, which is sad. But it's very in line with her character. You're right. People don't just leave school. There had to be something, and this lined up painfully. And to see her struggling, out of all these characters, full on struggling with what to do, because we saw her and Shirase. It's, by the way, these two coming together to have a relationship has always been very interesting to me because they're very different people. To watch Shirase probe and prod and just force Hinata to open up and be like, no, tell me what the fuck happened. It's good. I'm happy. Hinata is is always been that character, who's always been the least developed in my eyes. So this episode was very needed.
Yep. Real quick, you might want to tilt your mic. It's kind of pointed at the ceiling.
Yeah.
There you go. OCD. But yeah, so a couple of scenes that I kind of had trouble with, though, and that might be more me than the show, but the whole thing with the gloves with the hands, that was weird.
Yeah, that's Japanese.
Okay.
Yeah. Funny enough, girls in Japan, way more affectionate, than you'd think. I've seen girls just holding hands while walking through the mall. 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds. They're very affectionate, and it's nice. I actually personally approve of we should all be nice with our friends and affectionate and not be afraid of what people think. So, and especially girls, because at that point it's like, yeah, if we hold hands, we're just girls doing it. So they do that very often. So it wasn't that weird to me.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like I was missing a whole lot of context because it's at the very end after the story has come out and they're kind of like reconciling and figuring out what's going on, and Hinata, Genki-chan, tells Shirase, take off your gloves. Just your hands are enough, and like takes her hand, and then what does she do? She like goes in for a hug and she like flicks her head.
Yeah, well, the idea is, so if you'll notice about Hinata, she's actually pretty happy Genki girl, but she's also not very touchy-feely. Like, her entire thing is, like, she's very independent, which is, I've met people like that. I've met people who are, like, happy and independent, and like, no, I'll do it, I'll handle it, and it'll be okay. Don't touch me. And they're not very affectionate. And when she finally does hug Shirase, that's her acknowledging, but you need this hug now. So here, let me give you a hug, show you that we're friends. It's all good. It's okay.
Yep.
So.
Yeah.
Speaking of Shirase, teeny tiny little plot point buried in all this, we got her dad's name.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, shit, did we?
Yeah.
Gin.
Yeah.
Gin.
When the older girls were playing, what is it, shogi?
Mahjong.
Mahjong, that's right. When they were playing Mahjong.
They're referring to Gin, the woman who helped raise her.
Oh.
That's not the dad's name. They're referring to the other woman who
Oh, I
raised
keep
her
forgetting
with
her
Taka.
fucking name.
Her name's
Oh, okay.
Then never mind.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, we got the dad's name.
No.
Oh, that's the captain's name who we keep seeing, and they never say her name.
They say her name all the time.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
You and me.
Yeah, they never say it. They've said it maybe twice.
She's Captain Moleface now and forever.
I mean, that mole, that beauty mark is like,
Oh, yeah, on point.
but yeah. So that's, and I kind of love that they refer to the raised by Takako and Gin like the lesbian parents they totally were. I'm not saying they were definitely lesbians, but at this point, if they said that they were actually in a relationship, I would not be surprised. But yeah, so
that makes Cool Big Sis a weird third wheel, though.
cool big,
Yeah.
cool big. Oh, you mean yeah, a little bit, a little bit.
I mean, look, no judgment. If she was up in the mix, too, read my fanfic. Nope, there's no shipping in this show. Shut up.
Excuse me, the Penguin would like to have a word with you about that.
But also, like, for as super satisfying as Shirase's just going off on these terrible fucking people was at the end, I'm sitting here like, are these cameras live? Are they going to have to cut from this to, okay, back to geology?
Actually, they were not live.
Okay.
Like, they were talking about the fact that this was beforehand, whether or not they wanted to say hi, etc. Like, yeah, I'm 99% certain that this was beforehand, because I was even worried about that, but I was like, no, they didn't start filming yet. Like, they still had stuff on set. People were not in place, so I'm only
Well, the
assuming.
captain was smiling, so I'm assuming even if it was live, she didn't care.
Yeah, no, they seemed. Also, like, I love the bit that they're like it's heavily implied that this is something Takako would do. So
Yeah.
I'm like, yes. I don't know. Every time we find out that Shirase is more like her mom, my heart swells a little bit, because I'm like, yeah, sometimes it's cool to be like your parents.
Yeah. I love the line in particular when they go to the place with the exposed rock face and everything, where Genki-chan does what she does. She's like, tries to hide everything. Like, yeah, no, I'm fucking great. Everything's happy. Why would I be sad? There's no point to be here if you're not happy, right? It has no meaning. And then Shirase, like, contemplates that for a second. Just like, yes, it does. It does have meaning, even if you're sad. Go fuck yourself. It's like, I appreciated that. I thought that was really good. A tiny little moment, but I like that interaction.
Yeah. And sort of in the background of this episode, we haven't really talked about it. They're doing fucking geology, and that's real cool. They're going camping.
Oh, yeah.
They're like some on-foot expeditions out into the Antarctic. Like, they are fully on the ground doing fucking science.
I like them painting the mark for the satellite to look at, and Kimari going like, hey.
Yeah. By the way, I know that we're totally episode late on this, but I still loved Kimari's son, or
Yeah.
Tam.
Oh, yeah.
Which, you know what? So there's two reasons that happens, by the way. One, the sun never sets, so congratulations, sun all the time. Also, too, sun reflects off the snow a lot.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So it's super easy if you're not careful to just get sunburned out in the Antarctic, which people wouldn't think about.
Oh, yeah.
It's cold, right?
Yeah. Anybody out there who's ever gone snowboarding or skiing knows what's up.
Yep.
So I love Kimani's little goggles. They're so funny.
Yep. And I also found myself, like, somewhat surprisingly liking there was a background character who kept on popping up. My boyfriend hasn't written me. I thought they played that just enough. If they'd done it any more, it might have gotten annoying.
I like that just her just constantly refreshing the email. And she's like, "What? Do you want it?" Okay.
So there is a conversation to be said about whether or not Shirase kind of maybe crossed a little bit of a line. But then again, I mean, it all turned out. Kimani at the end of it was like, okay. But yeah, Shirase both reading her emails and then going off on her old friends. That's not very Japanese.
No.
So there was a part of me that was like, oh, girl, yeah, you kind of just did your own thing there. Is that okay? But Kimari was okay with it. So I think in the end, whether or not it was necessarily the right or wrong thing, it was the right thing for them.
Yeah, that's one of those things that you really got to have a read on the person and the situation if you're going to do something like that.
Yeah.
That's either going to be the coolest thing that a friend has ever done for you, or why would you ever think that was okay?
Yeah, right.
And
Yeah.
fortunately, her read was spot on. But yeah, that was, even for an American, that's like, oh boy, that is all kinds of boundary issues potentially. But
Yeah.
Also, I love during that shot where she goes off on her friends, you do not get to see the reaction.
Oh, I love that too. Yeah.
Yeah, which is basically a way for the director to say, no, you don't get screen time. You don't even get to respond to this to the audience. You just have to sit there and take it, and then I don't know. I liked that. I think that was a very good artistic choice because we easily could have gotten a recoil or, like these disgusted faces from her friends. Nope.
yeah. Well, and that's kind of the thematic point too. Is like, nope, we are cutting. They're trying to like have this rapprochement. The email that Shirase reads that was sent for Hinata was them apologizing, like, hey, we're so sorry. We know we did a really shitty thing. Like at first, when they show up on the video chat, they're just trying to like play it off like nothing happened, and then they come through with this apology and a little more privacy. And I think that was a really cool character point. Like, should I forgive them? Would I feel better if I forgave them? But then I think about letting them off the hook. I think about them feeling that sense of relief, and I kind of don't want them to have that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not seeing how they reacted, like that's kind of what that rant was all about. Like, no, you have to live with this shit. I'm gonna go off and have a dope life. Fuck you, I'm out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it had been in any other way, if it had been before she'd gone to fucking Antarctica, if she had if they had sent her an email like, hey, so just out of the blue, we're sorry. We, a couple of us have been talking about it and we shouldn't have done that. We'd like to be friends again. Okay, that's good. If that were actually people wanting to make amends. No, you're in Antarctica, you're on a show, let us in on it, we're sorry. No,
Yeah.
fuck you, get fucked. And I cannot, I talk about the dub for this. I want to see the dub for this because I want to see that scene dubbed because I want to experience in my own language of those bitches getting cussed out. 'Cause that shit means a lot to me. I had a lot of two backstabbing friends, and watching them get like fucking owned it's a personal pleasure.
Yeah, and this is one of those perfect character beats that sheds light on things that happened before. When you think back to the episode where they had the misunderstanding with the passport and how she's like, no, I don't want you to worry about me. I don't want you to rely on me. I don't want to have to rely on you. You just do your thing, and if I can catch up, I will, and if I can't, I won't. And like wanting to kind of keep people at arm's length. Like, yeah, okay, that makes so much sense now.
Yep. Oh man.
Show's great.
Any more thoughts?
Nope.
Okay.
I got one more thought. Bong! Look at my eggplant.
Let me second that thought.
It's amazing.
It's so good.
It's very good. It's very good.
That's trifecta on the board.
Fucked
I don't know why I'm still putting this down in my notes. I don't know if I can remember these 3 shows that we got. All right, speaking of 3 shows, the third this week, Killing Bites, episode 10. Tiger and Pangolin fight, and Hippo jumps into the fray, but Pangolin shanks them both like little bitches. The lady in red goes on a mad rant about how dope her Zaibatsu is and how everybody else sucks and needs to bow down. Hitomi goes Super Saiyan, and we have a big old flashback about how she was born a therianthrope, didn't have the surgery. She was born this way. And Shido discovered her roaming the streets of Hong Kong and befriended her. But opening scene, it should be noted, Angry Zoo Books! Let me tell you about pangolins!
Yeah, we did get it.
I'm glad they didn't belabor that. Hey, we know we left you hanging last episode. Here it is, right up front. Not gonna make you wait. That was real good. I thought the action was a lot better. Mm-hmm. Some of the CGI on Pangolin is a little more obviously CGI than I am accustomed to in this show.
I get why he's animated the way he is. There's a lot going on with his design.
Yeah.
And probably didn't want to give up on too much of it by having it be traditionally cel shaded.
Yeah.
Traditionally cel animated. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's like, dang it. But yeah, there are just some shots where it's like, oh, okay, that angle is really awkward.
Yeah, this is not the worst of Berserk 2016, but this is starting to look a little Berserk 2016.
I didn't think that at all.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever... okay, it's definitely not the worst. In fact, I think it's pretty much on the par with the best that show had to offer in terms of the 2D.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's a little awkward. But outside of that, I mean, it's good to see a nice big old fight. Tiger lost an arm.
Yeah, he did.
I haven't said, oh, shit, I think more times in a quick succession. Everything this episode did, this show knows what I like. There's actual ramifications and consequences to, everything. He punches in his shell, gets his arm ripped off, Hippo comes in, gets fucking stabbed, Tiger gets fucking stabbed. And this is in the span of, a minute. Hitomi goes fucking Ultra Instinct. It's the best. I'm like, oh my God, it was just bam, bam, bam.
Tiger goes in on the ball. It loses an arm. That's fine. Take an eye.
Takes his fucking
gets stabbed in the
eyeball. It's
stomach.
just bam, 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 bam. Yes, this is what I want.
Yeah, this last episode when Hitomi gets thrown into the building, cloud of dust, no one could have survived that. She survived that. How boilerplate that was. This is the opposite of that.
Oh, yeah.
Everything has weight. Everything has consequences. No, Hippo, you dummy. You can't jump into this. You're going to get stabbed, and you got stabbed, dumbass.
So when he gets stabbed in the stomach with a hand, I was like, oh, I thought it was going to be with the tail. No, were they ever saying that for Tiger? That's some... Man.
Yeah.
Is Tiger going to make it out of this alive?
I think Tiger's dead.
I don't think Tiger's dead. I don't think Tiger's dead, if only because... he's kind of a really big player in all this. I think his death, if and when that comes, will be a little bit bigger than just getting stabbed through the stomach.
Yeah, but I want to have consequences, and sometimes shit just happens.
He lost an arm, okay?
And he got stabbed in the gut, in the whole torso. Gone. You're gone, man. Where's your lungs? You're dead.
Well, I mean, it's in the stomach.
With all the blood. Which is now on the floor.
So
You're dead.
much. Yep.
Red Lady goes nuts. That was fun to see.
Yes.
Yeah, I love seeing the stupid, I don't know what to call it, just the crazy Ojo-sama bullshit.
Yeah.
Her tongue was wagging around all crazy. Do you think that was just a stylistic touch, or is she a therianthrope too? Is she the final boss?
Nah, that's just the thing that they like to do nowadays. It's actually, funny enough, it's a continuing visual trend over the last 15 years with characters going crazy. They're like, and I fucking love it. That shit's the best.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's some Gene Simmons level stuff going on.
Yeah, and her eyes are just wide.
Yeah, going insane. Sure, just give her the power trip. She's going nuts.
Yeah, during my pregame, my friend was like, man, she went real crazy. And I'm like, yeah, but did you see her all the way up until that point? Her fucking life was getting shit on by all these assholes with the civet raps and the useless hairless fucking therianthropes and the bull-headed moves. She's like, no, this is supposed to be an honored game. This is, it's supposed to be the strongest win, and you're fucking it up. So when her character comes in there and proves her point, she goes fucking crazy. She's like, I told you, this is killing bites. Now she's the best.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and she's gonna have to eat so much crow.
Yeah, certainly.
Just that premature villain victory rant is one of my favorite tropes in this kind of dumb shit.
I love it too.
And just get a fucking crow therianthrope and make her force eat it.
No, I really liked the flashback.
Me too.
Yeah, so
It was perfectly inserted when we I feel like in the series proper when we needed a bit more embellishment. And didn't outsay its welcome. I thought it was pretty good.
So I'm mixed on that one because I definitely think that the story that they told, I liked that. I liked the fact that one, she was born a therianthrope, something that they kept hidden from us the entire time. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Two, Shido is actually a good guy. Like for all intents and purposes, he seems like a good guy.
Yeah, I kind of was getting that impression that he wouldn't actually be a villain because I'm like, that's a little too telegraphed. But I don't know. I'm glad to see some inkling at least of prior goodness.
I'd like to think that maybe his ideals have become warped over time.
I
That's
could see
a
that too.
possibility. But on the onset, he's actually there like, no, I can help her. Don't force her. Don't hurt her. And that's so fascinating to me because he seems to have an actual sincere affection for her. Now, whether or not that's the series setting us up for a twist, that's to be determined because a lot of his actions can be seen as a scientist trying to capture an animal. But I like the idea of Shido being a good guy, even if his desires become twist over time. I think that's way better than Shido being just a cold asshole from the beginning.
Yeah. And just Hitomi's affection for him, I always just assumed that was something that he programmed into her.
Yeah, same.
This makes... Okay, so on one hand, it makes more sense. On the other hand, it's kind of creepy, to be honest. Because she wants to bone him.
Yep.
She wants to bone down with basically her dad.
This is the Cobra Canon series.
Yeah,
I don't give a shit about creepy here.
Yeah.
I mean,
I left all those cares at the door and then shat on them.
I mean, at some point, you got at least he might actually be a good guy, and he didn't raise her to have sex with her. So at that to that end, I guess I can't be too.
Yeah, like the
creeped
thing
out.
is, we're already left to believe that hasn't happened yet, and that he, for some reason, any of which he could have taken manipulative advantage of, he hasn't.
Yeah, if he wanted to bone down with Hitomi,
I feel like that would have already happened.
Yeah.
So I didn't get any vibes from that. He was just trying to take care of her.
Yeah, turns out he's just in it for the science. He's not actually a furry.
So yeah, let's talk about her Ultra Instinct mode.
Real quick, I love that he's the one that says the line, by the way.
Yeah.
That he's like, that's what killing bites is. I'm like, yes! Like, that's all I needed to hear. And it's like, I don't know. It's been so dumb and shit, but when he said it and she's going Ultra Instinct, I'm like, I never knew I needed this. This is, I tell people, like, watch Killing Bites. Yeah, it's trash. It's fun. I'm like, this is fucking great. Yeah. I love it.
Also, before we move on from the flashback, the announcer, we've gotten little hints.
Yeah, the announcer.
Gotten little hints that she is more than just an announcer. She's a fucking ninja in high heels and a pencil skirt.
Yeah.
Hell yes.
Yeah,
Cool. She comes in and just fucking owns those Chinese mobsters.
Yep.
Fuck yeah. Good shit.
Yeah, that was rad.
Yeah. Also, Shido's dumb sidekick who hits Hitomi with the trank dart in what would have been the world's most telegraphed heel turn if I'd been looking for it, which I wasn't because I was just letting it wash over me as I do. Shido punches him in his dumb face, and that is so satisfying.
Yeah. And I love his line. It's like, never take mobility away from an animal.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like, ooh, yeah. She almost dies. He almost dies. Thank God for Announcer Ninja.
Yep.
Yeah, that, man, I loved that stuff. You know, it was, I wasn't expecting myself to get like so enthralled by this, but having this conversation, I'm like, yeah, I know this shit's pretty fun.
Yeah.
And that's what I want. Like this is, again, we've made the comparison before. I think this is kind of what Gato was missing a little bit of.
Garo, Zodiac, bullshit.
Yep.
Like I feel like this knows how to have the levity, and like we've gotten to the point where okay, you want to like get serious for a sec? Yes, you've more than earned enough for me.
Yeah.
I will sit here, tell me your story. Sure.
Yeah, this was them actually telling a story without any like irony or
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm right there with it.
I will say this. The only thing that I'll take away, the only negative that I have for this is that I am not, and this is coming from a One Piece fan, so I'm gonna completely own up to this. I'm not a fan personally of flashbacks as backstory, especially interrupting, like basically when it needs to be inserted to explain the like what is currently happening, because it's lazy storytelling. It is flat out the laziest kind of storytelling that you could do. That being said, I also allow a lot of things with this show because it otherwise entertains me. I do not like flashback backstories just to kind of fill you in on why suddenly this plot point's important.
No, I like how I personally enjoyed how it gave the buffer between transformation and attack. Like, if only for that, that's what I enjoyed. I like seeing she's transformed. What the fuck is this? Let's talk for a bit. Hey, so now we know how cool this is. Wham! I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Again, it informs it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying it doesn't do its job. I'm just saying that there could have been things throughout the series to cut down on the length and scope of
course,
this.
naturally.
To make it not seem like, okay, now let's take 5 minutes to explain why this matters. But that being said, again, that's my take. That's my negative.
Yeah.
There you go.
In my book, it all depends on how much I care about the story they're telling in the flashback, and I like this one, so I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
I've definitely seen it done poorly, where like, hey, here's your main character's childhood friend who you've never heard of before. He's gonna die tragically. Spoilers. Like, yeah, fuck that noise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
But
So we're gonna hold those cards.
let's. I mean,
Are you? Do you want something else? Are you expecting something else?
if you are, you're an idiot.
I'm so curious of our fans who is not into Killing Bites, but actually just flat out dislikes Killing Bites or hates it. I'm curious.
Have you seen that?
I haven't. I actually
Yeah.
have not.
Oh,
I think
okay.
anybody who's watching Killing Bites is watching it because they know what it is and are totally down for it.
Yeah,
Good.
I'm not seeing any like backlash against Killing Bites. I'm seeing people who are on right here with us, and I'm seeing people who are like, "Yep, doesn't look like it's for me. You guys have fun."
Yeah, and
I like
those two camps, yeah, totally respect it. It might not be for you.
yeah. That's. But let's talk about super cleavage mode.
Oh man. Yeah, I guess
That's what I need.
I was not expecting. I mean, I guess I should have, but her extra state, her boobs get bigger. Why wouldn't they? Also, she gets more tanned. At this point, I'm expecting her to call herself Hitomi of the Katara Empire, motherfucker.
I don't know. I love everything about it. I love the design. It looks like it's just Super Saiyan 4. So that's all I need. Like, that's it. It's just Super Saiyan 4 with boobs. You can't get better than that.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that they made a focus on pointing out like she's now even furrier. Okay, well.
Yeah, because you saw that, like, you see her first, like, from behind for a bit. And I'm like, oh, like her arms and shit. They're like white and like all the way furrier. Oh, she's all,
Also, it's kind of interesting because Tiger sort of had this sort of thing too.
Yeah, very minor.
Not much. Like he got full on mutton chops.
Yeah, I
after
got
his.
that. Yeah.
I don't know. It's curious, but yeah. Maybe I think the entire point behind it though was that her humanization over the years kind of made it like toned down her full form, and here at like when she's pushed to her limit, it's like nope, going full on original Therianthrope.
Yeah, I like how they kind of describe it as, you know, it's the combination of, because I think like the people that go full animal are shown to be like weaker, and the people that can hybridize the best traits of animal and human, the greatest animal, can actually do it better, which makes sense to me.
It does, and I just realized this just now. It does introduce, if we care about plot holes in fucking Killing Bites, when she first learned about partial transformations, that is all you've been doing literally this whole series. Why is that new information for you?
I don't think she knew. Because, so one thing I picked up on pretty quickly, when she gets hit by that tranquilizer, what happens? She gets knocked out, but something else happens.
I mean, she's still got the tail, but she does go slightly less furry, as I recall.
Yeah. Her transformation actually downgrades to the one we normally see.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Closer to it. She's still got the white fur and the tail.
Well, she always had the white fur and the tail. She just had less of it. She's always had the tail.
Oh, yeah, I suppose
Yeah.
you're right. I suppose
Yeah.
she has had the tail.
Yeah. So if you'll notice, like, it goes down. I think she's lost over the years. I think she doesn't didn't even realize that was a thing she could do. Mm-hmm. Like, we'll have to see next episode. I think that will fully explain what the heck's going on. Because my friend had the same point. Is like, but wait, what about the partial transformation stuff? And I'm like, I don't know. We'll see. Like, it's hard to say. Then again, for her, it's not transformed. Partial transformation just means controlling parts of it, not the amount that comes out. So I don't know. It's interesting. Maybe she did know and she was just saving this.
Yeah, I mean, she does. She does call the pangolin like, "Oh, finally, a toy durable enough to really play with."
She's just a big little girl, and it's kind of creepy and kind of awesome because it's like, oh man, you're running around in that, and you kind of seem like you're a 14-year-old at heart, but at the same time, you're also like a 14-year-old at heart. You're just fucking in for this, and like that's kind of awesome. So it's like, you know what, Hitomi? You just go kill that pangolin. You fucking wreck that pangolin shit. I can't believe that's a sentence I just said.
I want this badger to murder this pangolin.
Yes.
Yeah, no, this show just it continues to be itself, and every peak I get from it is like in all the right ways. Like, and I was not expecting to actually be a bit more endeared for the flashback. I tend to play those off as like, whatever, it's just fucking Killing Bites. Who gives a shit? But I was like, no, okay, I'm following you. I feel it. And seeing like I said, just seeing Shido pull it around and like be a bit more of a character, like that's what Killing Bites is. Like, yeah, dude, there's that fan service. Fucking murder that animal.
I agree. Shido gets a moment too, because Shido's always in the back.
Yeah.
Always back, glint over his glasses.
Yeah, Gendo and shit.
Yeah, Gendo Ikara and this shit. And for him to actually get into it, it's like, oh shit, Shido's into it now. That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we will see you next week with the final episode of Ancient Magus Bride and the penultimate episodes of A Place Further Than the Universe and Killing Bites.
Oh, man.
Man,
All right.
So nervous. So
Yeah.
nervous.
But guys, this week, nothing dies because everything's good. We finally did it. We finally got there.
Yeah.
It's been a long road.
I'm happy with this selection.
I'm happy because I don't have to edit a death scene after having to do 2 last week that were incredibly involved.
They were great. They were
They were really
great
good.
scenes.
I hope you enjoyed them.
I did.
I enjoyed them. We hope you all enjoyed them. Everybody on YouTube, everybody on Twitch, everybody over on Patreon, thank you all so much for the support, and we will see you next week.
Mwah.